And welcome back to Flexible Games, where we are playing Factorio in our 1.0 tutorial series, and we are ready to jump into nuclear power. I've got this area over here, putting in some landfill. That's kind of where the color of the landfill is. I've got some logistics coverage. Yeah, we're ready to go. All the stuff is automated, all down here. We've got the turbines, the tanks, the heat pipe, the heat exchangers, and I manually crafted 4 reactors. If I can find them, there they are. Nuclear reactor, right there. Because I want those to be the last thing in the main build to be placed. And what we're going to do here is we're going to take this, and we're going to bend that out so we have a little bit of room up here. Let's get the trees and rocks out of there. Every little bit helps to do before you drop down the blueprint. Now, there are probably lots of different blueprints on the website Factorio Blueprints, and I've had this one for many years. The original blueprint was done in, as you can see, 0.15.10. And the 1.0 is technically like 0.18 dot something. And so, yeah, this is many versions old, but it still works as long as you really pay attention to how it builds. So the majority of things in here are automated already. Poles, roboports, tanks, all that stuff. As you can see, all the materials on the bottom there, which is one of the reasons why I had early on automated the logistics-based comparators and the combinators and stuff like that, because I knew I was going to be building one of these, maybe even more than one. So if we can come out here and place this guy, I love being able to place blueprints from the mini-map. This is such a revolutionary change to the game. I can't even describe how awesome this is. So we're going to plop this one right in here. We don't really have... I don't have plans to come out with rail at all, so we're going to try our best to sort of put it right in here. I'm going to hold shift when I do, even though I don't think there's anything in the way. Holding shift will help drop that in. And immediately, the construction bots, as you can see, construction bots are, the number is increasing. Because, as you know, our system is set up to put more in when it's empty. And since there are 0 available, it's going to keep putting them in until some become available again. It's just a way for me to, not completely overwhelm the system. Let's wait until all the things get automated. Make sure, see the 4 entities are missing. Those are the reactors that I have. I'm not worried about that warning at all. But the other thing is the requester chests in here they're going to want some fuel, some reactor fuel. So as soon as those kick on, this will be, fuel will start to be pulled out of here. So what you want to make sure, and I know it's a mess of wires in here, the inserting these 2 in the middle here, you want to make sure their stack size. Let's see. Yeah, these are usually done. Mode of operation. Usually there's a set stack size over here. Do I not have that researched? Stack inserter. Stack inserter capacity. Yeah, there it is. I need to research that. And maybe that. just to get this done. What? 250? Should be plenty of time. So that wasn't an option because I hadn't researched it yet. But if you've already got the inserter capacity bonus research, you should see some checkbox or some way of setting the stack size in here. You want to make sure your stack size is set to 1. That is important. Okay, so the other thing that we need to do is the last thing to build are the reactors. So I'm going to drop those down. There they are. So as you can see, the fuel is not dropped into the reactors right away because this thing is labeled only enable when A equals 13. Okay, now I'll try to deconstruct what this is all doing. Okay, there's a mess of wires and there's a mess of logistics and control here. But if you mouse over the power poles, and there's basically 2 different systems, but they're all kind of combined together. So there's a red and a green system. But anyway, as you can see, A right now is only 7. And A is only 7 because we don't have any water in the system. And there are these pipes, these 3 on the top and 3 on the bottom, that's your water supply. So the water supply is expected to come up and go into tanks. As you can see, right here, this one comes in and goes into this tank. Well, this tank is wired up. And it's wired up to say, hey, if water is greater than 10,000, output an A. Okay? So this is basically saying, I need water. And there's one over here too. I need water. And there's 2 down here. It's a mirrored system, obviously. There's one there. So your water detection gives you 4 levels of A. Every time you have a signal outputting A is going to increase. And that was one of the big things when I was, I played this game for years, and I didn't quite understand how things worked until I realized that when you output a signal like A1, okay, and that gets sent into the circuit network, every A adds to itself, and that's how you get A7. Is there are 7 things that are detected, that are done, that say, hey, we have at least 7, but it won't insert fuel until A equals 13. Now, there's a whole lot of logic in here that detect whether or not the chests have fuel in them, and that is also an A. And their fuel cell needs to be greater than 0 in order to get an A, so that's where some of your A's are coming from. There are detections for the amount of steam, which is why these tanks are connected. You can see these are on green. And these will go a lot further in when I get on to explaining a little bit more about how this works. But I want to make sure this research is done and make sure, because I don't think when this blueprint was set, that these inserters actually, I don't think the feature was in yet for stack sizes. And there it is. Okay, so yeah, they definitely override stack size. That's just one thing you want to make sure. You want to say read hand contents, pulse. This is basically what you want. And even Bob's inserters don't override this because, it treats a blue inserter as a blue inserter, and it doesn't really care. And again, this is the only build that I've ever seen that used the active provider. So the spent fuel gets pushed into an active provider, which then gets emptied off into a storage somewhere in your base. Okay, so we are actually ready for the water now. And let's get this thing wired up. and then we can watch. So one of the reasons why I wanted 6 of these on me. Okay. Okay, so now we're getting water, right? So as soon as that water goes up, you can see A start to increase. A is 12, A is 13. There it is. It's a quick drop. It drops 1 fuel in there, and the timer starts. Because if you look at this, you can see these numbers here. XT, the amount of fuel. You can see T is actually going down. So T is actually the timer. And T is what is basically, it's timed around how long it takes 1 fuel to burn. So it essentially is a timer to stop the fuel from just constantly getting pushed in to the machines. And so there is some complex circuitry around here that, oh man, yeah, T is greater than -1, and yeah, I don't know. There's something about this that so this const combinator is T is -1, which then adds to T, and oh man, it's just I can't explain how the timer works because I don't necessarily understand it myself. But essentially, T starts at like 16,000 and then starts to count down, and there's, I think, yeah, there's 60 updates per second, and so it starts to count that down. But I think there's only like 20 circuit ticks per second, I want to say. There might be 60 updates per second, but I think the circuit network ticks at 20 per second. But anyway, so T starts to count down, and when T hits 0, the system basically checks itself. And, you know, these things are heating up. As you can see, temperature 370, and that is being sent along the heat pipes, which is then going into the heat exchangers, which have plenty of water, but they need to hit 500 degrees in order to actually function. And so, you know, these things are, you know, it takes almost an entire fuel to warm them up, but once they're warmed up, they pretty much stay pretty hot. So once this system kicks on again, we will get another fuel sent in, because once that T hits 0, the amount of steam in the system will not be enough to block A from going to 13 again, which will trigger another system of inserters. Okay, there are the turbines starting up. Okay, this fuel is just about empty, but we don't have enough steam, so we get another fuel. There's another fuel. You can see fuel gets dumped out. Bots will come by and collect it. And we start the process all over again. 1 fuel at a time, and then all of these get updated. Now, if I take my night vision off, they made it actually glow. The heat pipes actually glow now, which is kind of cool. But I like my night vision. Give me my night vision back. All right, so now we've got some steam power, and this is connected to our main power. Now what I want to do is basically disable the steam engine system, because I want to favor the nuclear power system, because this is 0 emissions, and very, very efficient as far as resources go. And one of these fuel can last quite a long time. As you can see, the tanks around the system hold steam. And that's why the system is gated, because that steam can be used to generate power. And in a low load system, this is producing 480 megawatts, right? In a low load system, these tanks will start to fill up. And these tanks get full enough, and you can see they're connected via wire, okay? And this is set up to T is greater than 0. T is greater than 0. There they are. Up. Yeah, they could be up here. It's one of these circuits around here is detecting the amount of steam in the system. I just don't know which one. I don't necessarily have to understand the system. There it is. Steam. Steam is less than X, and we all know X is 16,000. So you can see steam is actually 70,000. So when this runs out, the steam, there it is, the steam will be way greater than X. And so A will not be output to 1. So you can see now A is 11 instead of 12. So even when the timer runs out, when T equals 0, that will bring A to 12. But A has to be 13 in order for this to trigger. So the steam actually has to drop low enough, below 16,000, for the system to bump it again. Once steam drops below 16,000, A will go to 13 for a fraction of a second. A new fuel will be loaded in, and the whole system will start again. So it's a zero waste system. And I'm sure there are plenty of blueprints on the website for you to... Oh, yeah, there it is. They're empty, and now they're not getting full. They're not getting filled up again because, again, A is only 12. So the steam inside of here has to drop below 16,000. So all that steam that was generated is being used, and the whole system is functional. So now we want to limit the amount of power our steam systems our coal burning systems are the use of those. We want to sort of keep them for backup, but we want to limit how much we're burning because of that. So I'm going to come in here and grab, yeah, 3 of those will be fine. And we're going to head down to our initial, very first setup down here. Now, one of the things about this system is we have a really bad, you know, everything is sort of snaggled together here. So we need to first isolate the system. And I'm going to grab some copper wire. Amazing I don't have any copper on me. How is that possible? Okay. It looks like we're finally done with the coal up here. And the bots take it away to get upgraded. As you can see, it automatically goes into my trash slots, which is so nice. Okay, so now I want to manually set the power to go up only. Like that. Okay. So if we look at our map, when we look at power, you can see your power connections. Now, over here, this is an issue. We've got a RoboPort right there, which is not ideal. That is not an ideal spot. So I'm going to take that power away. I'm going to take this power away. I'm going to put this up here. So this system, yeah, this system is isolated now, right? You can see there's no connections into this system at all. Because it's isolated, we want to make sure that it remains isolated. So we're going to put a little thing down. We're going to put an accumulator down, and this is going to get charged off the main base power. Okay, this is simple accumulator. We're going to place down a power switch. Okay, this power switch is going to be the thing that decides if this network is connected to our main system. Okay, so we want it to only engage when our main power in our base is struggling or falling. And that's what the accumulator does for us. The accumulator will kick on if our power load, if production, cannot meet the satisfaction. The accumulator will kick on and apply and supply power to the system until it's empty. Once it's empty, then the main power will start to fall. So we want to connect that up to the circuit network, okay, and we can connect this up to the circuit network. Now, this is going to read the charge level and give you a percentage between 0 and 100. And I want to set this, to P for power. Okay, so remember, it will send out a signal between 0 and 100 as a percentage of how charged it is. So that is going to be sent out on signal P. So over here, we're going to say signal P is less than, let's say, 25. Okay, so this, when this drops to below 25% charged, this thing will connect. And then we can say, I want to charge this on this side. Okay, so power is coming in there, and this is coming in there. So those two networks are not combined. Okay, those two networks are only going to connect to one another if this power drops. You can see the consumption on all of these is at 0. Okay, there's virtually no consumption here. As you can see, production, something is using 9.2 kilowatts of power. And we only have inserters in here, and these should not have they should essentially not be pulling anything, but it is what it is. If there's a little bit of draw, that's fine. But we have radically reduced the amount of coal that we're burning here. So I want to go down to the power system and set up another system on this. And again, I believe repetition is a good thing for learning. So main base steam power. Now, here, the same thing is going to be applied, and we want to make sure, see this little connection, that's bad. We do not want these connected. I did a pretty good job of making sure these were disconnected, but that needs to be disconnected like that. So this system is only connected with this main system here. And there's an holy Jesus, look at that. Well, everything survived. Nice. Awesome. Okay. See, there's a RoboPort. Well, I don't know. Do those take constant power even when they're not being used? We'll see. We'll see. Let's disconnect this system. Right there. We're going to put another accumulator down. Where are they? They're there. We're going to put another power switch down. We're going to connect this to that. Let's copy that. Shift right click, shift left click. Output signal P. You can see that disconnected because it was defaulting to P, and this was defaulting to A. So I needed to switch that over. Okay, now we need. Oh, it's so hard to see sometimes. And then this one connects to that one. All right, this should now be completely isolated. As you can see, the Roboport is taking 50 kilowatts. I mean, it's not bad. Compared to what we were using, that's not bad. And as far as pollution goes, it's going to take a bit. But this pollution should slowly dissipate and disappear and as it's being absorbed. Because we are no longer burning an obscene amount of coal down here. And the animation of the engine still goes on. But the fact that we don't have any smoke, I don't see any smoke in here. Or steam or whatever you want to call it. The fact that we don't see it anymore is really telling me the system is shut off. So now we are reporting 522 megawatts, which is really deceptive. It's 480 megawatts from the steam turbines, and then a little bit of megawatts from the accumulators. So this production is basically the maximum amount your system can supply, but it's not sustained because the accumulators, once the charge is gone, it's gone. So let's go over here. Why? Oh, steam turbine. I was like, steam turbine? What? Why? These shouldn't be. Oh, those are steam engines, right? So we are supplying 100% of our power right now with the nuclear power system. A zero emission system is our entire power supply. And that should go a very long way in not only supplying power for the future of what we need to do, but radically dropping the amount of pollution. Because look at this poor forest, just obliterated with pollution. I mean, it's so bad. It's yeah. And I don't think they ever grow back. Once they're dead, they're dead. It'd be cool if they grew back, but that would be a lot of processing power. There is a mod out there that actually works on growing trees. So forests actually spread over time. And I've tried the mod, and man, the more land that you have uncovered, it's crazy how much processing power it takes trying to spread all those trees around. But it is pretty cool. They could just figure out a way to make it super efficient. That would be nice. All right, well, we have ourselves a lot of potential power. We have over doubled the amount of power that we are able to make. And all I need to do is drop down another one of these and double our power again, which I have room for down here, and we can always start expanding as I fill up this poor polluted lake It is green right now, not a healthy color. You know, you get to this point in the game and it's like, oh, not much you can do about the environment. As far as landfill goes, I am still working on getting all of this stuff up here going. And we've got lots of landfill. I've connected it up to a warehouse because we can place landfill with bots, as you can see. So I can place landfill anywhere I've got coverage, which I really tried to get this covered out because I wanted to grab all the fish that were in here. And I think there's a few fish. There's a fishy right there. Let me take him out. Grab him. So yeah, the landfill. It would be cool if, I mean, I don't know how hard this would be programmatically, but filling in a lake like this, it would be cool if the grass were to creep slowly over the raw dirt and kind of reclaim it. That would be really cool, but man, I don't know how hard that would be. Look at the... Alright, I need to connect this system with our main system because we are actually using a lot of repair packs down here. I had to refill the repair packs, which kind of made me nervous. Okay, so let's get a go. There we go. Trying to get those into a line. So once this system is connected to our main system, yep, bingo. There's more construction bots and logistics bots and all that kind of stuff in the system. All right. So the main power should be good to go. Oh yeah, beautiful. All right, well, that's going to do it for this episode, and I thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.